Are you struggling to manifest what you want or have been trying to manifest something for years and it's still not happening? Well, join my 21-day manifestation challenge, which starts in January. You will be part of the manifest movement. Don't have FOMO, fear of manifesting out. Join the challenge at pausepenny.com. What's up, manifestors? Welcome back to the Manifest Movement. And guess what I am holding in my hands today? It is Rhonda Byrne's. You know, she wrote The Secret, she wrote The Magic, The Power, The Hero, all those books. She's the Australian manifestation queen. Countdown to Riches, 21 Days to Wealth Attracting Habits. But did you know this? When Rhonda Byrne was creating The Secret, she was $2 million in debt. And she was like, how? Like, I'm creating The Secret. I know this works. I've got to switch up my mindset. So this book is out on November 25th, and this podcast will be out just shortly after that. So, but I pre-ordered the book. And it arrived for me on Saturday, the 15th of November. It just showed up on my porch. And everyone keeps saying to me, how did you get this book? How did you get the book? And maybe I just manifested it and I am supposed to have it in my life. And I believe someday I'm going to interview Rhonda Byrne. And two of the manifestation community said to me, oh, you know, I know XYZ related to Rhonda Byrne. One girl used to live with Rhonda's niece and she learned all about manifesting. And I was like, oh, there's only 6 degrees of separation. So Rhonda Byrne, I'm coming for you, right? I am coming for you. So today we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about abundance and a bit of surrender and letting go and what has been going on in my life recently and the manifestation lessons that I have learned, and yeah, just what's been going on. So this Countdown to Riches book, first up, okay, guys, let's start off with some money affirmations from Rhonda Byrne. Okay, 5 money affirmations. Money flows to me effortlessly and easily. I have more money coming in than going out. That is such a good one if you're a business. I have more money coming in than going out, because when you have a business, or I don't know, even when you're a parent, whatever it is, you're constantly like, it's spend, money out, money out, money out. So you need to tell yourself, I have more money coming in than going out. I deserve to have everything I want, including money. You deserve money. You deserve wealth. It is not greedy. Money sticks to me. You are a money magnet. Plenty of money is my birthright. So she's got these money affirmations that she says you should say every single day, but also it's 21 different habits. But let's talk about her very first page and what she says. Oh, Rhonda, you are straight up. You are direct. You are not beating around the bush. And I'm telling you guys, I am telling you, some of you are going to be triggered by this. You're going to be triggered. And if it triggers you, then I'll say this, you're the problem. You are the problem. If this triggers you, you are the problem. Okay? It means you are the problem. So listen up. This is what she says. Financial struggle is caused by one thing. That's interesting. One thing only. And that is your thoughts alone. And I know what some of you are saying. Oh, yeah. Oh, my thoughts are really creating this. I'm broke. I'm living paycheck to paycheck, but I'm a single mom, or I've just been made redundant from my job, or I have to care for my parents, or I have to care for a child that has a disability. And you're telling me that my thoughts are creating this financial stress? It's right in the book. She says it, and I'm going to say it too. Your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs are creating your reality. If you are not happy with your current financial situation, then you need to think about what thoughts you are putting out there into the universe. And I'm not saying you're going to become rich overnight. This is not a like get rich quickly scheme. But if you start focusing on your money mindset, then your life will change. That is a guarantee, like absolutely guaranteed. We all know the story of Jim Carrey. He wanted to be an actor and he wanted to get more acting roles. He was broke. He was living in his car and he wrote himself a check for $10 million and post-dated it 5 years out. He went up to Mulholland Drive and the check was for acting services rendered, right? So this was for acting. And he went up to Mulholland Drive. He used to visualize and say things like, every director wants to work with me. Everyone wants to work with me, right? And then 5 years later, he gets a couple of roles and he makes 10 million, including Dumb and Dumber. It is possible for you. It is possible for you, right? That episode that I talked with the actress Ivana Milicevic, she was on last week, and she talked about money's job is to come to her. That's what she says. Money's job is just to come to me. That's its job, right? So the money will come when you change your life. And I'll talk about this reel that went viral, but one of the concepts in the reel that I said was change your thoughts, change your life. And I remember I was reading through this book, and that is exactly what she says on one page. It's like, here it is. Change your thoughts, change your life. There it is. She said it. It's the exact same thing that I would say. So honestly, I want you, firstly, to think about whether or not that statement that Rhonda put in the book and that I fully 100% back, that your financial struggles are related to your mindset. And if that triggers you, there you go. You know it's that you have work to do. You have got work to do on your money mindset. So last night we did on our manifestation challenge, which doesn't start until January, but we had an inner child workshop. We had a special guest come on, so you could still join the manifest challenge. And we are going to actually do, if you join the challenge before December 1st, we are going to do these 21 day habits in December, right? And then in January, we're going to start the challenge. But we did an inner child workshop with Robin Taff, and she asked everybody what they wanted to manifest. And I explained that I want to manifest a community, a subscription-based community for the January manifestation challenge. And other people wrote things like they want to manifest more financial abundance, they want to manifest a soulmate, the baby, the dream house, leaving their jobs and getting their dream job, whatever it was for them. So she took us through this inner child expansion, and it was amazing. And I don't know that much about inner child work, but what I do know is that we have subconscious beliefs. They are in the back of our mind, and sometimes we are not even aware of them. We have limiting beliefs around money from our childhood. Maybe there's not enough money in our house, money doesn't grow on trees, or maybe all you saw were your parents grafting and working and working really hard. Maybe that's what your reality is. So you could have certain beliefs around money, right? And you might not even remember what those beliefs are, but when she takes you back into the expansion, some vivid memory might come up for you. And when you're such a sponge up until the age of 7, especially a real sponge. And I really realized this as I became a mom, because this happened in our house last year. My son, we went on a vacation, and I put him into this football camp on the very first day. And on the second day, he was adamant he was not going to this football camp. And now my son loves football, but he wouldn't go in. And I noticed then that subsequent events, like where he would be playing another football team, or he'd have to go to a camp, like a camp for Easter break or Christmas break or whatever it was, he would have just a little bit of a meltdown. And it would and I was like, what is going on? And about 6 months after that vacation, he told me, he was like, Mommy, when we were in Lanzarote and I went to that football camp, one of the boys said to me at the camp, I don't like the color of your skin. Now, my son is white, but he is very, very sallow because his dad is Armenian. And that brought up in him that if he goes to places where he does not know people, people will be mean to him. And to be honest, parenting is hard, and I don't know how to change this up, but I'm working on him and confidence and all of that sort of stuff. But it just reminded me of how many things can happen in our childhood that stick in our memory and how we might perceive them as a child. For example, I was away for Penelope's, my little girl's preschool Montessori graduation. I was away, so her dad went. And she said to me randomly on a random day, "Oh, you didn't come to my graduation because you didn't want to." And I was like, oh my God. That's just so not true. It was because I was away, but that was her perception of things. And what Robin was teaching us about the inner child is that we might have a lot of fear, we might have a lot of limiting beliefs, but they are not true. The thoughts, the feelings, the beliefs that we are that in lack, that we think money doesn't grow on trees, that we're not worthy of money, it is just not true, right? So I read the book and I decided that I was going to do 5 of the little tasks that are in this book. One of them was make your wish list. So you make a list and then you write down the amount of money beside it. 2 was your wealth affirmations. So I put all those 5 wealth affirmations I said at the beginning into an alarm. What was 3? 3 was money coming in, money going out. Pretend it's coming in. So let's say you buy a coffee for €4. You actually pretend you're receiving the money. It's just raising your vibe, right? You can add a 0 to it and pretend you received 40. Then there was money in your mind, money in your hand. So you visualize a very small amount of money that you're going to receive. I chose €2. And the final thing was wishing everybody a life full of riches. So you walk around and you see everybody on the street and you just say in your head, I wish you a life full of riches. So you're spreading the good vibes. So what happened then, that was Sunday, I made the decision that I was going to do it on the Monday. So on Monday morning, I get up and I'm having a tough morning, right? It is a low vibe morning. I have 4 kids. My husband is in Budapest because he goes to the football match. I'm feeling sorry for myself. It's so damn hard to be a parent. And the vibe is low. In fact, I was like shouting, get out of the house, get out of the house. I was looking over my son's homework this morning and from yesterday, which was Monday. So this was yesterday. And it said, write a sentence with the word, that has a word in it that begins with an SH. And you wrote, my mom shouted at me. And I was like, oh shit, this is going back to the teacher. My mom shouted at me. But I was like, get out, we have to get your shoes on, get your house. So I was a crazy loon. I was going out the door. I was getting them all to school. And finally I was going and getting Penelope to school. And I was so low vibe that I caught myself and I was like, Yvonne, raise the vibe. You got to raise the vibe. And then I thought, shit, I need to be doing the manifest abundance. I'm supposed to be sending everybody good vibes. So I started doing it. I started pointing at people in my head, looking at people saying, I send you a life full of riches. And so I kept repeating it. I wish you a life full of riches. I wish you a life full of riches. And then I saw this girl coming towards me and she had a gorgeous Yves Saint Laurent expensive coat on, expensive glasses. And I looked at her and I was like, girl, you don't need the money. I'm not wishing you a life full of riches. You're already rich. You're fine. And then I caught myself and I'm like, hey, don't be a bitch. There's enough money to go around for everyone. Even if you're rich, you can have more and you can give more, right? So I said, okay, fine. I wish you a life full of riches. So the vibe was starting to raise. I get Penelope to school. I drop her in. I leave the gate. But By the way, this is another bit of the story. On that way to school, while I was dropping the kids, I was thinking in my head, how in the name of God do single parents do it? Like, how do they do this shit alone? It is so hard to do it all by yourself. You are carrying the load. And I was thinking of Francesca Amber, who's a single mom parent who is raising 3 girls, and she's written the book Manifest Like a Mother, right? And I was thinking about Francesca, and I actually interviewed Francesca about her book on September 14th in Ireland, about her book. And so I was thinking about her. So anyway, I'm doing my I Wish You a Life Full of Riches. I arrive at the school. I leave the school. And the moment I leave the school, I open up my phone and I see that I have gotten paid. I've gotten paid by Penguin for interviewing Francesca Amber 2 months prior. And I was like, whoop, whoop, money in the bank, money in the bank. Now, it's not an extortionate amount of money. You don't get paid a lot for these gigs, but it was still money. It was still money. I had gotten paid that morning from Penguin for interviewing Francesca Amber, who I had just been thinking about 2 minutes before, right? So that was number one thing that happened. Next thing that happened, I took my little girl to swim. And after we went to swim, we went for lunch in a cafe. And I told her that she would get a macaroon. She would get a macaroon if she ate her lunch and she did her homework. And so we were finishing up. I went to the counter with her, and the guys behind the counter were like, "Did you eat your lunch and finish your homework?" And she said, "Yes." So they said, "Well, we are going to gift you this macaroon," right? The macaroon was €2, the exact amount of money that I had been manifesting would come, the small amount. So if you don't have faith in a big amount of money coming to you, you start small. And I'm not telling you that you're going to receive a €2 coin in your hand. You could receive a free macaroon. The value is €2. You could receive that 10th coffee free on your coffee card, which is worth more than €2. It's €4. You could receive a discount on your groceries when you use your Tesco Club card. So don't just look for the money. You don't know how the money is going to come. And then, what happened then? I get an email from a corporate, a law firm, because I'm doing a corporate workshop for them, and they say, "Send me on your invoice so we can pay you." I'm like, what? I haven't even done the workshop. I haven't even done the workshop, and they're telling me to invoice them. So there you go. 3 things happened yesterday. 3 things with the money. But let me tell you this. Like Rhonda Byrne said, financial struggle is your mindset. You have got to change and your vibe. And you say, "But how am I supposed to do that? I'm so broke. It's coming up to Christmas and it's so hard." Well, first, stop telling yourself it's so hard. Stop telling yourself those things. We're coming up to Christmas. This is the exact time you need to be working on your money mindset, because money is going out all the time. So this is a really good time. Do some of the things in the book. Say the 5 affirmations. Send good vibes out to people. I wish you a life full of riches. Another one of the tips in the book is pretend your pockets are lined with $100 or €100 bills and you're just handing them out to people on the street. Imagine how good that would feel if you just stood in the middle of the street and you were just handing out money. Like, how cool would that be, right? So you start there. And then you start small. So today, choose your small amount of money. Choose your €2 or your €1 or your €5. Okay, right? So that's the first thing. Now, I'm going to talk to you about, this is about money, but this is also about letting go. So in October, I have to say, I have been trying really hard on my social media to build it up. This time last year, I saw on a deck, I was sending out a podcast sponsorship deck, and I saw that on it, I had something like 8,034 followers, right? So a year ago, I had 8,034, and now I'm almost up at 25, right? But I've been finding it harder than I expected. I've been finding it harder to grow than I expected. One of my friends said to me, she's like, "You just tripled the amount of over tripled the amount of followers you have in a year. Like, come on, you are growing, but you just don't see it like that when you're in it daily, right? So I've been saying to my friend, actually Sinead, who's Thrive After Teaching, I've been like, Sinead, your videos do so well. She gets so many views on her videos, and I feel like the views on my videos are quite low. And I'm just complaining to her about how hard social media is. And she's like, would you stop? You get a lot of saves on your videos. And so I just made a decision in October that I was starting to become just kind of fed up with it. Fed up with it, right? So I said in every my social media strategy is this. It's not very expansive or anything like that, but what I do is I put €5 a day behind a post. So I'll have €5 for the month, so €150 on ad spend on Instagram for the month. Always do it via your laptop, by the way. Otherwise, if you do it through the app on the phone, Apple charges you 30% more. That's your little abundance tip for the day. So I was paying €150 a month, and I was getting like, I would get followers, and they would be followers who were interested in my page because it was always stuff that was about manifestation. So I don't feel like it's like buying followers. It's showing people, putting yourself out there to show people, hey, I'm here and I talk about manifestation. But I just made this decision. I made a decision on October, the end of October, October 30th. There's 31 days in October, but on October 30th, I made a decision that for November, I was not putting on any ad spend to get new followers. I wasn't paying a dime. And the reason why I was just because I was just a bit fed up. And also, I said this, universe, show me how many followers I can get without the ad spend, with just being, just attracting followers. How many can I get? And my expectation was that, like, from the ad spend, you might get 500, 600. And then from organically, like with no ad spend, I was thinking I might get, let's say, 100, right? So so I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not putting any ad spend. So I went to bed on November 4th. I think it was a Thursday. And I decided that I was going to put up a screensaver of social media affirmations on my phone, which was stuff like my social media is blowing up. Everybody shares my reels. Everybody likes my posts. So I put up this social media screensaver. And also I put my alarm when I was going to bed. My first alarm was, my social media is blowing up. And then I had all the other alarms was luckiest manifester, luckiest manifester. I woke up on Friday morning to a reel that I had put up on October 30th that was starting to go viral, right? At the time, it had 500 saves. It had, I don't even know how many views, but it wasn't huge, but there was a lot of saves. And we are 2 weeks in now, and that reel has gotten me almost 4,000 new followers in 10 days. And listen, I have been doing and posting social media for 3 years. This has never, ever happened to me. But, and I don't know why that reel went viral. I'm not sure. It just has. It's been translated into Spanish something like 72 times and into Portuguese like 50 times. It's saved 4,000 times. It's my first reel on my page if anybody wants to check it out. But it's like I woke up and then I kept waking. I kept seeing all these people commenting, liking. And I saw this like actor in LA with 11 million followers liking it. I was like, what is going on? So I have this theory. It is a new theory. It is not backed by science. It's not backed by anything. And it is this. The universe knows when you're on the edge. It just knows when maybe you're about to just give up. And I felt like I was just at the point of just kind of giving up on social media. I still obviously going to post, but like just being like, what is the point? And then boom. But you can't expect this to happen after one month of posting. This is being consistent day after day, year after year. Like I said, I'm 3 years in the business in November of this year. And it's also about surrendering and letting go, because I was attached to social media, to getting more followers, to getting more likes, to getting more views. Why? The reason why I want it is because I want more business expansion, right? But does going viral translate into sales? I'm not so sure. I haven't seen it just yet, right? But the lessons we learned today is all about surrender and let go. And by the way, I have just saved myself €150 because I said I wasn't going to do any ad spend in November. So that's 30 days in November, €5 a day, 150 to get 600 followers. And I've just gotten 4,000 by no ad spend and just the universe. And then as the ad started to slow down and the followers started, it's like it ramps up, and then you'll see a slowdown. I remember thinking, universe, show me how good it gets. Do your magic. Do something else. And then, who was it? I think it was Sinead from the Butte Truth, who has a really good community and following on Instagram, talked about me on her page, and more followers came to my page. And someone else with a really good following. I can't remember who it was, but remember to trust. Trust the timing of your life. Trust that the universe has a bigger plan for you than you could even expect. Trust that's going to work out even greater than you could have expected. Let go of the attachment. And finally, get the book. We're going to do this in the Manifest Challenge in December, so sign up. By the way, I got to change that 21-day manifestation ad. I sound like a boring bitch. I sound like a total... Owen's laughing at me here in the studio. I sound like a total boring bitch. Yes, I do. And it is not a boring challenge. It's not a boring challenge. Someone said to me recently that I sound like I'm begging to get people on the challenge. I was triggered. By that, I have to say. So I ain't begging you. If you want to join. Alrighty. So until next time, manifestors, whoop, whoop. We're getting into December and January is a new year. It's 2026, new beginnings. I cannot wait. But you know what? We don't have to wait till January. We start now. Bye.